The music,
it lets them know we're open.
Hey,
tells the kids.
would you like a bomb hop?
They're doing the jumping jacks and the wiggles and that.
The ice cream truck is in close view.
It's the happiest moment of the day, we say.
But Frosty Treat's driver, Jenny Neal, says there's a serious nature to the business to make sure every kid remains a champ.
Small children under the age of 2 will run in a truck without anyone, and so you just have to be mindful of anything that you can't see.
Which is one reason why an ordinance proposed in North Little Rock will require ice cream trucks to stop serving treats at 8 every night or sunset, whichever happens first.
Premium type adult stuff.
Company manager Jerry Watkins is okay with the proposal.
We've glanced at it. Looks great. I mean, the restrictions are all things that we do.
Jerry says there aren't any caution flags with the proposed ordinance, but he wants to make sure each and every operator follows the rules. That's if city leaders pass the measure.
It keeps all the, unsafe people out of the business.
Hi there.
A business that focuses on the kids.
Safety is first with them, always.
And that's what keeps the ice cream truck industry sweet.
Cap 2, start your engine. Watch the vehicle pulling out from your left.
The training captain is giving instructions to firefighters sitting behind the seats of simulated engines.
Watch your red lights.
The goal here is to prepare for the unexpected.
Watch the ambulance crossing your path.
Which isn't easy.
You have texting, you have people playing music, just general, road rage, aggressive driving.
It helps protect us from inattentive drivers.
According to national statistics, 25% of firefighters are hurt on their way to an emergency or coming back from one. That's why safety training like this is so important.
We can't get our job done if we're involved in an accident ourselves. A vehicle fire at the hospital on B Street.
So the trainer comes up with different scenarios.
Steer to the rear of the vehicle.
Common ones, like people pulling out in front of the fire truck.
Watch your lanes of traffic.
Blocked intersections, even bad weather.
I think a lot of the scenarios are really realistic.
And the driver must figure out the best way to deal with each situation, which isn't always easy in these simulators.
The biggest struggle is just getting the motion sickness and things of that nature. It's kind of a tool that you really have to get used to. It kind of gets you a little bit sick, dizzy. Do you see smoke showing?
But the payoff is worth a little motion sickness, because at the end of the day, a firefighter's training can be the difference between life and death.
Good job.
It's a quick trip from inside here to here.
Who had the bubble gum?
Abby does.
You have limited time on a hot day.
Is that good?
But for most, it wouldn't take long anyways.
There's nothing better than swimming and snow cones on a hot day.
Whether it's a snow cone or shaved ice, regardless of how many flavors, it all ends up in the same place. As the sun reaches higher in the sky, business owner Jenny Tucker says the more sweet-tooth faces they see.
The hotter it gets, the busier we're getting.
Which can leave more chances for something unseen to make its way into your colorful treat.
Things that make people sick.
Environmental health specialist for Pulaski County.
Nice to meet you, sir. And I'm here to do a routine inspection.
April Jones is out to make sure your summer treat is safe.
Basically, we're looking just like we look in a restaurant.
Despite most stands only staying open for a few months a year, they're inspected as if they were open season to season.
Hand washing, good hygiene practices, clean here.
And they're held to the same high standards.
Keeping cold temperatures.
From making sure employees are keeping clean to keeping cool.
7.5 degrees.
Because otherwise, they say these places could succumb to the heat and higher volume.
There are so many bacteria and diseases that can be transferred from your hand contact to food contact.
We don't want anyone to get sick from anything that we serve.
But from the sound of it,
I don't see any violations that need to be written up.
This business and its happy customers have nothing to worry about.
See you on the next inspection. Thank you.
You know, it's safe for them to enjoy a treat like this in the summer.
A comforting feeling as they race to beat the heat. In Little Rock, Josh Berry.
After the nationwide vote of nearly 100 million.
Are you the best singer out there?
There's probably people that are better than me.
The winner of American Idol.
I've been so many places in my life and time.
2009 is...
You don't have a huge amount of personality.
He's got a good voice. It's just that I don't feel the star from it.
Randy.
Yes.
Simon.
I'm going to give you another shot.
Chris Allen.
That's gonna be okay.
It's been 4 years since Chris Allen won the American Idol crown. Looking back, he tells me much of the experience is still a blur. But he does remember how daunting, exciting, and nerve-wracking it was. All rolled into one.
Being judged, constantly judged.
Yeah.
Publicly.
Publicly judged in front of 40 million people 2 times a week.
He also remembers the trip back home, performing in the River Market, and how Arkansans embraced him through his Idol journey. But with that comes regrets.
I feel like I missed out on the celebration that was going on in Arkansas. But now I came back for that day, but that day was crazy. And I was running around the whole day. And it was exciting, and there's a bunch of people there. It was emotional, but I feel like I feel like I missed out on like the celebration.
Chris Allen!
When you won American Idol, that look on your face, priceless.
The surprise one? Oh.
Yeah, that one. Do you remember what that was like? How you felt on stage at that point?
That whole 9 months or whatever it was is a blur. It's a total blur. And I feel bad because people are like, how did you feel? How did you feel? And I don't remember it.
Winning opened doors Chris never dreamed possible and changed his life.
Completely. In a good way, though. In a really good way. I can't be more happy with my career right now.
Chris scored a deal with RCA Records and formed a band that he says,
for some reason, it just works.
He's now produced 2 albums. We caught up with him during a sound check before a concert in Fayetteville. But he has concerts all over the country. But despite that, some just want to see him back on that Idol stage one more time.
I want to be on there.
What do we have to do? What do you have to do to get on there?
Usually, like when you're on there, you're there for, you have new music out, and so we've actually been a little halted in putting new music out because of injuries and stuff like that.
This isn't my first time. I wouldn't recommend doing this at home, but we have Fuga over there at the other end of this line, and I am supposed to be a felon, either fleeing the scene or protecting the handler over there. And when I'm ready to go, he's going to let Fuga go. And obviously, as you can see, these dogs have a pretty powerful bite. Now, you can imagine his tail is wagging this entire time, and you imagine he's doing this to hurt me, but he's enjoying this. To him, it's a game. When he's on duty, he's just a tool, and that's what's innovated this business for law enforcement, and he's doing a good job.
Conditions have gotten worse here on the ground. We're about 3.5 miles southeast of Ola on Highway 10, and we're going to take a look now. You can see big billowing clouds of smoke. We're here on Highway 10, and that fire has now jumped the highway, we're told. There is a barn structure that is on fire on this side of the highway that we're standing on. It's the same side of the highway where that warehouse full of explosives now sits, and according to the Yell County Sheriff, that is a threat right now. It is a danger because if these flames are jumping across and could catch that on fire, that all goes just boom. It's a big explosion. There is a lot in there. It's a full warehouse of explosives. We've seen trucks coming up and down this highway. It's closed to through traffic, but I can't tell you how many tankers, how many fire trucks we've seen driving up and down, basically down that way. If you can see sort of the flashing red lights and all of that. That is just a wall of fire responders. They're trying to create a barrier, but right now this fire is burning as what we're being told is out of control by the Yell County Sheriff. The wind is the biggest problem. It just keeps changing and they can't quite get a grasp on it. What were voluntary evacuations are now mandatory evacuations. People are being asked to head to that center, that emergency center. Red Cross is there. And speaking of those people who have been evacuated, one of those people joins us now. They were under that voluntary area of evacuations. Monica Buller, you've sort of been monitoring this situation throughout the afternoon. How do you feel right now?
Well, I'm actually getting a little bit nervous since the wind keeps changing, and we live, if it jumps the road, we live right that way. So I'm getting pretty nervous. We've got family around here. We're on the phone trying to tell everybody, hey, we're down here. We're looking at this. Everybody needs to start taking precautions and getting to the high school, the new high school. So because it's out of control and it's getting pretty scary. So
now talk to me a little bit. You live in this area, so you know where the houses are on this highway. Are there a lot of them? Could this be a bad situation?
Yeah, it possibly could be a bad situation because when you go down this way, you got houses on both sides and, they're kind of spread out between each other. So it's hard to tell because with the fire, you don't know how wide it is when it's crossing the road or what houses are going to be involved. But there are definitely houses out there that are spaced out between each other. So,
and looking at it and knowing that these are your neighbors, these are people that you know who live in your area, and knowing that those flames could be headed their way, that has to be somewhat terrifying for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty scary. It's a small town. Everybody knows everybody. And the past few minutes and a little bit when we first found out, everybody was scurrying around and everybody was heading that way towards Ola, so hopefully they're going towards the school. So, but it's pretty scary, and I hope everybody makes it out okay and they're not just sitting and waiting until the last minute, because that's usually what happens is people say, well, if it gets bad enough, we'll leave. So hopefully they're going to go really quick.
Well, thank you so much, Monica. And speaking of very quick, this fire is moving very quickly. I just want to show you the expanse, the range of the fire, how far it's spread. If you can see over here, that white pillow of smoke there, that is where the fire sort of began, and it's spread clear across the area. I mean, this is Highway 10. You're looking at about 300 acres worth is what people on the ground are telling me, an estimated 300 acres of basically woods, grass, and apparently structures going up in smoke, literally. So it's a very tenuous situation right now. Emergency responders, the sheriff's office, they don't feel good about it. They say this is a definite threat. People need to take it seriously. Again, that emergency center is at the Two Rivers High School. That's east of Ola, near Plainview. And so if you need a place to go during these mandatory evacuations, head there. The conditions are very dry. It's very windy. With that wind, because this fire is moving so quickly, embers can carry and things can set on fire. I don't know if you can hear it, but air tankers are flying above us right now, and those are dropping water on the area. They won't be able to put out the wildfire completely, but they are keeping the area wet so that things that would normally catch on fire may be wet and doused enough that they're not going to catch on fire. And so that's sort of a step that they're taking to try and keep this fire contained. So we're going to keep an eye on this for all of you out there watching, bringing you the latest updates as they become available live in Yell County. I'm Marcy Manley for KARK4 News.